Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into the next load chart. This one is different from the ones that we have been previously doing. This is a jib load chart. So we're going to be picking off the jib. In this instance, there is no jib deduction because it is in use for this specific crane. It's already accounted for in the load chart, so they don't add it in there. It's in use. There's no deduction for it. So let's go ahead and start with that. So we are going to come down here. We know we're in our outriggers, 360, our outriggers fully extended, 7,800 pounds removable counterweight, 360-degree chart because we are picking over the side, and we know our line pull is 12,920 because it never changes for this chart. I'll go ahead here. We're going to look at our next one. We have main boom, 110 foot. So when your main boom is extended all the way, you can use your radius to find out. You can use your radius to find out your line deduction. But since we are picking from the jib, there is going to be no line deduction for that. And on this one, we're going to know where our block is at because even though it's changed up a little bit, your main rope, it's given us the 10 foot below tip. So, but we'll get to that as we go through, progress through the load chart. So we know our main boom is 110, 110 foot of main boom. So when your main boom is fully extended, that is the only time you can use your radius because there's no load chart, there's no conceivable way to use a range diagram for a jib on a boom that is not fully extended. And I'll show you that a little bit later here as we progress through the chart. Our radius is 70 foot. And now we're going to continue down and find our deduction. So we don't have anything for other. We do have an extension that is 32 foot through 56 telly extension at 56 feet. But we don't, that's not a deduction because we're picking off of it over the side. But we will make sure we keep an account for that for when we go through our range diagram if we need to. But since we are picking from it, we don't even need to worry about the range diagram. So we're going to move on at a 15 degree offset. The only thing that we're going to use this for is finding our chart capacity. So we can go ahead and actually, we'll just leave it like this. We will have to come back to this chart when we do find our gross capacity though. So next one is we have a block that's a 15 ton, one shiv, two parts aligned. So we go ahead and add this in here. Block. How much is our block with its 15 ton, two parts aligned, and we have 380 pounds. Let's go ahead and write that in here. 380, make our little notation, our X, and our two parts aligned to let us know we have two parts aligned on that block. Ball, we have a 10-ton ball. So we go in here, ball, 10 ton, and the 10-ton ball is 560 pounds. 560 pounds. We'll just adjust this a little bit so that it's where it needs to be. And we have rigging. Rigging is 200 pounds as it tells us here on the chart. Rigging, we're going to do 200 pounds. Kind of line it up a little better. I like to try and keep them sort of uniform. And then we have our 10 pounds on our main line per line. So we have two parts of line on our block that are hanging 10 foot below the tip. So that automatically means we have 20 pounds for our line deduction because it is two parts of line, 10 foot below the tip. We are not making a pick from it. For ox line now, you have to have one part of line to make any pick. So there is no line deduction from tip to ground for that jib because we have a main line here. The main line already tells us that that block is hanging 10 foot below the tip. Times that by 2 because we have two parts of line is 20 pounds. So this should be all our line deductions. We are going to move down here and find our radius. So we'll look at this, we have our 32 to 56 telly set at 56 feet. So this is our telly, we're set at 56 feet. So each one of these is the length of our teleboom extension is extended out at. So, and also the 32 goes to our 32-foot fixed jib. We can have that too. So we're at our 56, our 56-foot extension at a 70-foot radius. And the reason being we can use our radius is because our boom is fully extended. You see how this is our maximum boom angle, and it automatically sets the precedent for each extension. Now, if we were here at say 100 foot, we wouldn't be able to calculate where this is going to fall without interpolating. So that's why we use the boom angles to figure out where our tip height is going to be, or where our gross capacity is going to be on our gross capacity load charts. So we're going to go ahead just like we normally do. We're going to follow this line up. We're going to meet with that arc. So at the 56, we're going to meet right here. This is our 56-foot teleboom extension at a 15, what do we have? A 15-degree offset. So we're going to be right here, 15-degree offset. That is going to fall between 150 and 160. So between 150 and 160, we are going to go up to the greater one of 160. So our 160 is going to be our tip height. So even though we don't need it, our tip height, it's still good to put it in there just for, just for uh, uh, staying, uh, keeping doing the same thing over and over. You don't want to do one thing here and another thing here and another thing here, because it'll throw you off on charts that you actually need to do it. So keep going through all the steps that you need to go through. Unless you're super familiar with them, you're confident you can just jump past this because you don't need the tip height. So, but on this, tip height is 160. So we're done with that, and honestly, we didn't need that anyways, but that was just kind of an example for me to show you how to do a jib. Um, the rules when the jib's fully extended versus when the jib is not fully when the main boom is fully extended versus not when the main boom is not fully extended. So now we just need to find the proper load chart. So we have our 3256 teleboom. So we're going to go down here and we're going to find our teleboom. So we got a 32-foot fixed extension jib. Well, we don't need to worry about that. Now we got a 3256 teleboom extension, 360-degree chart. We know it's 360 degrees because we're picking from the side. Now there's three different load chart lengths here. We have our 32, 44, and 56. Well, the one we're going to be using is our 56 because it says we're at 56. So we're going to use our 56-foot jib length. Now we need to find what offset we have. We have a 0 degree, we have a 15, and we have a 30. Well, it says extension offset angle 15 degrees. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to use our 15-degree offset. Now on this, we have to find our boom angle, or we can use our radius because we don't have we have a fully extended boom. So we can just go ahead and automatically go to our 70 foot. We're going to follow that over to our 15-degree offset. And that's going to put us at 3,220 pounds. That is going to be our net capacity. So we go over here at this end, or our gross capacity, 3,220 pounds. That is going to be our gross capacity. All right. Now, since we don't have an auxiliary line deduction, we can actually just put a fat 0 there. You don't have to do anything. You can leave it blank, whatever works for you. Just be filling in everything. If you do have a deduction, make sure you're putting it in. All right, we'll go ahead and add up all our deductions so that we can get our gross uh, gross or our net capacity picking off the jib over the side. So we have 380 plus 560 plus 200 plus 20. That equals 1,160. And that is going to be our deductions, 1,160 pounds. So we're going to deduct that from 3,220. So 3,220 minus 100, 1,060 pounds equals 2,060. And that is going to be our net capacity picking from our jib over the side. Then let's go down here and check, see what we got. 2,060 pounds. That is our correct answer. All right, go ahead and move on to the next slide.